right, all right, all right.
Hey, welcome.
Hi.
Welcome. Episode 143.
We're getting very close to an episode 150 here pretty soon.
143.
Then we're going to be at a 169, which I think we should do something really special for 169.
We did something for 69 that I was like, oh yeah, and I forget what it was, but I'm gonna have to go back and look, and because I thought it'd be funny to do something like semi like goofy sexy for whatever, but I gotta look it up now because I've been sitting there go.
Goofy sexy is the best kind of sexy. Come on, just like this movie.
I mean, this movie is very goofy sexy. And let me see. I'm just interested in what the fuck we did for 69.
Oh wait,
Ken's got my interest.
We are Murder Moose Podcast, part of the Slash and Cast Podcast Network. By the way,
it's in the game.
Oh, is it?
It's in the game.
Oh yeah.
We did Creep for 69.
Oh, I love Creep so much. God, I love that actor, but I love Creep so much.
Why don't we do Creep 2 for 169?
Ooh.
Because I've never seen it.
We'll try to remember. You think the three of us and our superpower of ADHD will remember that long? Who knows? Yeah.
That's a very long time away, so no.
No. We are Murder Moose Podcast, part of the Slash and Cast Podcast Network. It's in the game.
Wait, I already said that.
It's in the game. Well, we said it again.
I know, but I'm Reese. This is how ADHD I am, Josh. I didn't even realize you said that because I was looking through our episodes to see what episode 16 was. Oh, fuck, man. How are you, beautiful people? It's always very lovely to see you two because you're two of my favorite people in the world, and I love you to death. And I'm glad that we get to do this wonderful adventure together.
Yeah.
I'm feeling the love.
Yeah.
Feels great.
Aww.
Wear it like a blankie wrapped around your skin. Speaking of which, I own so many blankets. I love blankets. But
me too.
Oh my God, I pulled like 20 blankets out. Some of them are just throws. But I have so many blankets and I love it. I'm going to build a fort. So make sure you're following me on social media. Was that a Mothman blanket?
No.
Oh my God.
That's
adorable.
It's a baseball team that doesn't exist anymore because they are now the Cleveland Guardians, but it's a black and so like there's this like sports shop in Cleveland called GV something, and like Ken knows that the guy got famous going on Oprah like making Etch-a-Sketch artwork or something like that, but they make really cool artwork like for like all the Cleveland sports teams, but like none of it's officially licensed, like so it's like they just have like the logos and like it's the weirdest shit in the world, but they make tons of money and they're super talented guys. And like I think it's two brothers, but yeah, I love blankets, man, because I'm always cold. That's why I have like it's like 90 outside here, but like my house is set at 69, and so I'm like cold all the time. But I'd rather be giggity.
I have a fan underneath my desk.
What does she do?
Blowing on my balls.
Oh, that's what she does.
Oh, she goes.
Yes.
Josh needs his balls blown on. I mean, because
all day. It's fucking hot. I'm standing. It's like, look at this. It's so hot in here. I don't know.
It's just you, Josh. It's not.
Yeah,
it's hot in
because
there.
you're
it's
in
you.
there.
Yeah, you sexy fuck. You. Now he's doing the genie in a bottle dance by Christina Aguilera. Oh. I have to say, Josh,
this just fell on my head.
I adventured into Plex this weekend and watched The Machine, and it was wonderful and fantastic. And the Bert Kreischer movie.
Oh, is it in there? Do you have it on there?
Of course.
Yeah,
I want to watch that.
You gotta. I add stuff all the time. You got to keep checking back.
It's very entertaining, and I was laughing though because I was sitting there watching it and I'm like, this is really funny until like the only like part that's like awkward is that sometimes Bert tries to act like he tries to like actually act, and you're like, oh no, Bert, oh no, like when he's himself and just like being a goofy fuck. But Mark Hamill plays his father, and the movie was a fucking ton of fun.
Someone's
really,
watching
really
it right now apparently.
Not me.
No,
Not me.
not
So the
me.
machine was lots of fun.
I
and I
got
was really happy
the
to-
Wrath of Becky on there now too. I want to check it out.
I still haven't watched Becky. I have it on Blu-ray. I bought it on Blu-ray like 2 years ago at this point, and never watched it.
Oh, Becky's awesome. I haven't heard anything bad about the Wrath of Becky, so that's cool.
Yeah. You watching anything cool, Josh?
I haven't watched anything actually.
Yeah, you were in the mountains or something, right?
I was at the lake. My parents have a cottage off in like a golf, like, I don't know, place off a lake. And yeah, Diana and I went up and did the lake, some paddle boarding, and
You did the lake?
You did
You
the
stuck your
whole
penis
lake?
yeah,
in the
there's
lake?
like this island in the middle, and then she's like, well, fuck this top. And I was like, yeah, you can't like do that here, by the way. You gotta put your top back on. I'm sunbathing. I'm like, yeah, but this isn't Ukraine. You can't like do that.
Did you show show your lady the meme about Russians hating Russians or Ukrainians loving sharks now?
Every picture she takes where she's celebrating something, she grabs my shark like plush.
Did you see the meme?
No, I haven't seen it.
He Dreadhorde made a meme about now we know that all the Ukrainians love sharks because of that story we talked about last week. It was I was like, you Josh, I'll have to put it in group chat.
I probably even liked it and didn't read it. That's me. I'm just like acknowledgement, but I'm ADD and didn't actually give it the time of day to read it.
You are the most ADHD motherfucker in the world, and yeah,
I'll do
it's
something
funny.
wrong 3 times before I go, how the fuck do you do this? And then read it and go, oh, it was here the whole time. Fuck. Why
Yeah,
didn't I
that might have just been
spend
on.
the extra 20 seconds to read the instructions instead of doing it wrong 3 times and then reading the instructions. Yeah, that's me.
I mean, that's why like put together furniture is like one of my kryptonites.
Well, there's
because
no
I
words,
have-
so I can do it easily because it's just pictures. I'm visual. But reading, fuck that shit.
See, my problem is, and I talk about this all the time here. I have that like I don't see shit in my brain, so as soon as it's gone, it's gone.
I don't
It's
see
like-
shit either. That's why,
You know,
yeah, it's weird. I can remember steps very easily. So like redoing a task from like memory is very easy for me. But
yeah.
visualizing something, if you say like close your eyes and see a red balloon, I see a blackness and that's it.
Yeah.
Like what?
I don't
There's no
see
red.
shit.
There's no
Yeah.
red balloon. What are you talking about? But in Photoshop,
It's-
I can create whatever.
Yeah, I can't do that. Like I don't like that makes your visual poster building it even more impressive, Josh, because it's like
I know
Yeah.
space. I have spatial awareness. So when I put together elements, I understand aesthetically filling space. That's it.
I thought you just meant you have a giant penis, and so like it makes
Well,
you
yes.
aware of your surroundings.
That too.
Because I understand that, Josh.
I know how to
but that's
fill
like this
a space.
a vagina space, a space.
Doesn't necessarily just have to be a vagina, Rod. Come on. Open your eyes.
It could be a mouth or a butthole.
Open your
or
eyes.
hands,
eyes.
or like you could fuck a tree or a lake, as we learned that you fuck a lake.
Expand your mind.
Expand your mind.
Yeah, we did the lake.
That's a
Now-
good
okay,
idea.
Okay, Morpheus. Morpheus.
Kin,
Yes, sir.
are you good?
I am fabulous. I was looking up notes on Cemetery Man, so yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, I think the first time we'll get into it in a second, but I think
love
the
your background
first time
this week, by the way. It's amazing.
Thank you.
it's like giant kin.
Isn't this a great person?
It's like kin squared. It's some weird like physics equation. This is like Albert Einstein shit, man. Am I the only one who has zero interest in Oppenheimer? By the way, like the Oppenheimer.
I'm
movie
excited to see it. I want to go in.
Wait, what is it?
IMAX.
It's the new
Christopher Nolan.
Christopher Nolan movie about them developing the atomic
I'm
bomb.
obsessed with because like IMAX is like Canadian. I've always been obsessed with IMAX since I was a kid. Going to like we were the first ones to have IMAX stuff because it was made in Canada. So I would go with like my school to the only IMAX theater and see like those National Geographic things, and I'm like, this screen is insane.
That's the only thing I've ever seen in IMAX. I've never seen a movie in IMAX.
Oh, I've
because
seen
never
so many
been
movies in
near
IMAX.
an IMAX theater.
Like all the Batmans, anything that Christopher Nolan has done and filmed for IMAX, I go and see in IMAX. And like his what was that one he did, the war movie? Holy fuck.
Dunkirk or something like that?
Yeah, it was so unreal in IMAX. And I think this movie, he said it's 11 football fields of film. Like to view the movie in IMAX, because it has to go on like this huge thing. And he said it's 11 football fields long of film. So it's insane, and I can't wait to.
That doesn't actually seem that long when you think about it, because like how long is like a movie? Like Christopher Nolan doesn't know how to make a movie that's less than 3 hours long. Dude, I don't know. I've kind of fallen off the Christopher Nolan thing. I don't know. I haven't seen Tenet. I've never seen Interstellar.
Tenet's
I've never
awesome.
seen.
I loved Interstellar. I've
Dunkirk.
rewatched his movies over and over again.
It's that thing that we talk about all the time. All his movies are fucking 3 hours plus long, and it's just like, it's just too much for me, you know? And yeah, I don't know. I know he makes really good movies. It's just, I don't know. I have to dive back in. Like, I think the last one of his I ever saw was Inception.
Which is also good.
I love Inception.
Just throwing this out there because I'm a complete dork and I found this hilarious about myself. I, for whatever reason, always thought that Christopher Nolan and Michael Caine were the same person. And I was like, I always thought it was Michael Caine doing the directing of stuff.
No, Michael. See, that's what's you have to remember. Michael Caine does all these things for a paycheck. If you want to hear like the most like ridiculous thing an actor's ever said, Michael Caine talking about why he did Jaws: The Revenge. It was like, because it bought me a house. Like, and then he because that's such a terrible fucking movie. Jaws: The Revenge is one of the worst movies ever. They fucking follow people from Long Island to the Jamaican, like Jamaica or something like the Caribbean, because they want revenge. Sharks don't want revenge. And then supposedly in the novel or the novella version of it, it's because like some voodoo, which makes it a little more like sensible, but it's still insane. And so, yeah. Michael Caine's an interesting dude.
Dude, watch Interstellar. Come on, that movie's stellar.
Is it Interstellar?
It's stellar.
And Weasel has made
Can you hear
appearance
her
in
when she
podcast.
does that?
Oh,
okay, good.
Weasel is, if you follow Kin's streams, which you should because Kin's amazing, is like the stream cat. So
Just make sure if you are following her streams, you only go to them through quainttaint.com, because that's the best one.
Yes.
Or only nouns.
No,
Quaint
Taint. It's the best one. That's
so
where I go.
Is there
Yes.
anything else you guys want to dive into before we dive into this week's
I'd love
film?
to dive into a quaint taint.
Yes.
Okay.
Quainttaint.com for all of your
Quainttaint.com.
quaint needs.
Okay.
Okay.
This
Many.
week, we are diving into the 1994 Italian film, Cemetery Man. And I knew this movie was going to be wild, but man, I'm going to read the synopsis. A cemetery man must kill the dead a second time when they become zombies. There is not like... This movie, man, it just seems like so many movies rolled up into one. Like... At first, Josh disappeared, but at first I thought this was just gonna be like a weird Evil Dead, and it had that weird Evil Dead thing, but then like it starts reminding me of Josh has the DVD Cemetery Man, yes, and then it
because
reminds me,
Dan, the owner of the Calgary HorrorCon, when I was helping him at his house, he's like, "Here, borrow this." He's like, "Well, I guess you could just put it on Plex, but borrow this and watch this."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Okay." And this is why we're doing this, by the way, because of Dan from HorrorCon. So thank you, Dan.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, Dan. Yeah. So, Evil Dead is the first thing this movie reminds me of.
110%. It is like,
And then it starts reminding me of like the other movie that like the most of it reminds me of is Brain Dead, like Dead
Totally.
Alive, because it's like that wacky kind of like, you know, sense of whatever, like that it has that like insane like world that like Peter Jackson was doing right at that time. And this is like 2 years after Dead Alive, Brain Dead. I think that was 92. So this is like a couple years after that. But then at the end of this movie, I don't know if I heard that one from Weasel.
That was
a loud one.
Stripes. He was in the
was
other
it?
room. He got lost.
apparently Martin Scorsese said it was the best movie of the year.
Nice. It turns into like, it starts reminding me of American Psycho, and this is years before American Psycho, and then the ending is like right out of Krampus. Like, this movie gets wild like the last third, and it's only like a 90-minute movie, but is it like how long was it? An hour and 45 minutes, but so it's a little bit like 100 minutes, but movie is fucking wild, man. And like, I'm wondering like what they were trying to get some message across, or they were just making a weird movie to be weird at the end. You know what I mean? Did you guys like, was there some message I was not missing, or are they just trying to make a movie weird at the end? I don't like, do you guys have opinions?
I was trying to figure that out. I didn't get to do as much of a deep dive on this one as I did last week.
Yeah.
But yeah, I watched this one with our Discord community. So there were a bunch of us watching, but we just used text to communicate. And the responses throughout this movie were wild, because we did have someone who had seen it and none of the rest of us had. And it was glorious. It was glorious. But no, like, maybe there's some kind of commentary on blinders put on the world, because like, you know, obviously he's like trying to say that he's done these murders and they keep getting pushed to the side, or like the whole impotent thing still has to be thrown. I don't know.
Almost like I have to start wondering if they're like, it's like kind of the same message as American Psycho. Like, is this like a thing where like it nobody cares because it's not disrupting their lives, right? Like him killing those like 7 soccer hooligans or whatever because death told him to, is like, you start going, huh? But like, I don't know. And then the snow globe thing, and like him and what's his name? Nagi, like they switch places at the end, like, so Nagi can talk all of a sudden, and he just can go, which it also starts giving me Game of Thrones vibes, and like Hodor, and like hold the door, like Hodor. It's kind of like that. Like he like couldn't like talk, like, but like he'd switched at the end. They don't even fully like explain if that is the case. They kind of leave you on like a cliffhanger with that. Like, is like Nagi, because Nagi starts talking and then he makes a weird Nagi grunt at the end, so you don't even really fully know. But the movie gets very, 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 very odd at the end. I do laugh though. Last night Josh was watching it, and he tweets in our group or messages in our group chat, "Who needs a sex on the beach when you could have sex on the grave?" So
If there is not an alcoholic beverage called sex on the graves or sex on a grave, there should be. I don't know what should be in it, but there should be, because then you could order sex on the beach and then a sex on a grave.
I just love all the like special effects in this movie, where he's just like, oh, you know what? I feel like at the beginning they were like putting a little more emphasis on like making it look a little better, but then as soon as more and more heads were exploding, just like, man, they're just straight up turning into like dumb.
Great. bus was so great.
Dude,
great.
I think I was laughing really hard when he just starts shooting the Boy Scouts or whatever from and he's just and it's like no reaction. Also, okay, I know that this is insane in this movie that like people come back from the dead and whatever. So the mayor's daughter gets plowed over by the bus with all these kids on it, right? When they're like joyriding out around these curves. And like the boyfriend gets hit so bad that like they bury him with his dirt bike.
I love how he comes back.
I know.
So
and the chick is like, I don't care. Eat. Let him like that. There's another one of the best lines in the movie when he finds the zombie eating her, and she's like, "It's my life. He can eat me if he wants." And then he shoots them both in in the head at the same time, basically. And it's just like,
don't worry, he's just eating me.
Dude, the fucking it's such a funny tone of like the whole movie where it's like this guy he's a cemetery man. He makes like a graveyard keeper, but they I love how they don't even try to explain it. They're like, no one really knows why this is happening. But like basically, sometimes people come back from the dead.
There's a maniac upstairs with a gun. He just shot 6 people. Oh, good, you have a gun. You can defend yourself.
That was so good.
It was me.
That's when it starts really reminding me of American Psycho, because it's like he's trying to confess and nobody will listen to him. Like
so
nobody.
Fucking funny.
Yeah. He's like, you could do. Well, what the funny part about that is that was the cop, right? That he keeps running into, who at first is like he's like, where were you last night? Like after because the first murders that he commits like with real people are those 7 kids, and he comes by and he's like, someone saw your car in town, and he's like, no one else could drive that besides me, and they're like, oh, we think it was Nagi, because they think it was Nagi because Nagi's like in like the town fool or something like that. Like he's not supposed to be very intelligent.
He vomited on the mayor's daughter because he thought she was hot.
Which was
so...
I was gonna get into that. I'm gonna get into that later.
Okay.
But you saw how old you saw how old she was when they buried her, right? Mm-hmm. She was 14, and Nagi was like in his 30s or 40s. He's a bald fat man who can't eat or anything like that. And also, one of the funniest responses in this whole film, he vomits on her. She gets up and she's like all offended for like a second, and then like the hot guy in the dirt bike comes along and she's like, "Okay, I'm," and she completely doesn't care that this fat dude. And then everyone's like, "Oh, she didn't care that you vomited on her." They like, and he's like, Nagi's like, "Oh." And
I love when death comes out though. He looks so
yes.
cool.
Yeah, it's very that's one of the, and also like one of the weird turning points of the film. Like that's like where shit really gets weird, because that's when because death comes at him and is like, stop killing the dead, because it, like, I don't know if they really imply it, but like it seems like when the dead come back and he kills them, death doesn't get the souls or something like that, is kind of what it came across to like as me, like, because, and then death's pissed that it doesn't get the souls, so it's like, just fucking kill living people by shooting them in the head. Also, if you were him, wouldn't you be fucking like shooting every body buried like in the head like once? Like,
yes,
that would be, yeah.
Oh, you're gonna
like,
bury someone? Boom, just shoot him first,
dude. That fucking scene where they're burying everyone who got killed in the bus accident. It's just like, there's so many fucking bodies. It's like 20 bodies, and they're like, oh, we're gonna be busy, huh? And that like leads to the Boy Scouts and all this shit. And the fucking, he's like killing 6 Boy Scouts. It's funny, man. I do like the even though like the mythos isn't exactly it's kind of all over the place for this film. I do like the fact that these zombies aren't anything besides zombies, and they're not like infections. They're not anything like that. It's like more like magical, right? It's like when they bite you, it doesn't kill you unless like.
I love all the neck bites in this though. They're so good.
Yeah. It's one of those things though, like because there was I forget. I think it was the chick, right? Or her? Yeah, it was the chick when she gets bit on the neck, and you
This
see
movie
the
just
like.
made me want to eat pepperoni so bad, though. I don't know.
It's that man. It was that thing where like some of those things were like, I think one of the guys he shot in the head, you could see the giant like the where the squid was on his forehead, like you could see it right beforehand. It's that thing like man, like before HD movies and before like you had at home video, right? But like that wasn't the stuff you could really catch at like on home video because the quality wasn't as good enough, right? But now we have this like 1080 whatever Blu-ray quality shit, and it's just like, oh okay, you could see that shit all the time when it's like dude, did you guys notice when they start fucking on the gravestone and the blue firefly like things, which I don't even know if I heard what he said.
Like marshmallows.
But you could see the string, Josh said, you could see the strings holding. What did he say they were? Like he explained them to her, but I don't even know if I heard what he said. I'm not quite sure what he said, but
they were something that was watching them, and then he was like, "Go away. She just wants to be under the stars tonight, or something, or just wants the stars to watch," and then proceeded to fuck around in front of Nagi.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nagi was always creeping.
Nagi, dude, like, is
through the floorboards.
Like, he's such a weird character because one, he like takes the head of the 14-year-old girl and puts it inside of his TV.
Okay, but like this bitch be out here scooting around like she's on a Roomba, just not even.
How is she?
Like,
how is she moving?
Well, that was our whole communication in Discord at that point. Was like, first of all, she like pulls back from him, and then she's not like scooting. She's just whoop, and then flying around and biting her dad and Daddykins.
Daddykins, I want to marry him, and it's like, I know Nagi was lonely and everything like that, but like you're sticking your tongue in the mouth of a zombie. That just doesn't seem like a safe act. I personally do not recommend putting your tongue in the mouth of a zombie. Maybe I'm crazy for saying that out loud, but
I'll tell you what's crazy is the fact that might need to actually be said.
Yeah, I mean, well, again, the whole Nagi character was hysterical but also creepy. Like we talked about him throwing up on the mayor's daughter, and he throws it looks like the Exorcist, like the pea soup he's just vomiting all.
Yeah. It does. It looks exactly like pea soup.
Yeah. And like I love how, dude, if that happened in real life, everyone would have gotten up at the table. He throws up on her and everyone's like whatever, like doesn't give a fuck, and then they're just like, oh, that's just Nagi. He's like,
I was a big fan of the fact that the main guy was like, hey, you need to tell her to back up. Like, you need to get your kid. And they just kept ignoring him. And he was like, well.
Kim, now I have to talk with you.
Okay.
About incompetence or impotence. Where did Josh? We talk about impotence and Josh disappeared.
Impotence or incompetence? I feel like after this movie, is it mine or yours?
No, that was Josh. It was Josh's.
Yeah.
That's
we lost sure Josh. It's mine because both of you are flipping.
Yeah. Are you on your VPN, Josh?
No, I'm not.
Okay. We were talking about impotence, Josh, and
no, you were talking about not impotence. You were talking about incompetence.
I meant impotence.
But I like incompetence.
I had to Google, and I put a word in our group chat, guys. And did either one of you Google what that word was that I put in our group chat?
I'm going to be honest. I did not see it.
So.
I see now. Yeah.
Google that word real quick because I want you to look up that word because that was and read the definition of it, Ken. And you can say it out
loud. The fear of having or seeing an erect penis.
What's the word?
Let me find a pronunciation.
I think it's ithiphallophobia.
Yeah, that looks right.
Ithiphallophobia.
Yeah.
I think is how you say it, but I don't know.
Ithiphallophobia, yeah.
Because one of the chicks that this guy sees, whose only title is she in the credits, by the way, says she's afraid of erect penises. And it was at that weird point of, what will a guy do to get laid, including not get laid? like, she's like, I'm afraid of erect penis. Does she say, she's like, I don't know if she says it like that, but she says it basically saying she's afraid of erect penises. And so he decides
who isn't, though?
I mean, I'm not afraid of erect penises.
I was joking, Rod. Expand your mind.
I'm gonna fight him like those clown punching bags that you punch them
Like clown dicks.
Yeah,
like that.
And then they go down and then they come back up. You know, they bounce back up. Those things. I'm gonna fight him like that. It's just like do, and I'm just like Rocky montage fighting cocks, and I'm just like, yo, Adrian. Nah.
That's your meme.
Nah.
Is that you punching dicks?
Yes.
Yes.
That
I'm
was
fighting him like Rocky did.
I just wanted to make sure. You know, I needed to make sure. You know what
I told you I'm not scared. I'm not scared of him.
All
I'll
this
punch
movie,
dicks for days.
honestly, this movie really needs a better poster. I wish I had time right now because I really want to dive into a good poster for this movie because it really needs it.
Yeah, the poster is fucking terrible. It looks like it looks like the Incredible Hulk got sexy and then also a vampire at the same time.
But even like the other one on the DVD, it doesn't do it justice. It doesn't make me want to watch it, and that's probably why it needs something better. It needs something better.
I do love the tagline though: zombies, guns, and sex. Oh my! it's so fucking hysterical, and I love it. It's hysterical. It's such a good girl. So the chick in this, I saw, and I know it's not her, but Anne Falchi. All I could think of the whole time looking at her, she looked like the chick from House. Like the chick that was on. That's who she looked like the whole time. And then someone was telling me that I was talking about this with someone, and someone else was pointing it out. Someone else, and I forget like who they were saying. Oh, God damn it! I was talking about this with someone, and I forget. Brain farts. But yeah, she's a pretty lady, man. She's kind of a freak though. Like, it's the whole thing that she meets this guy because he's like, doing his. You like that he met her in the cemetery over her?
Just everything she had going on. It was good. I liked it.
Yeah. Although she might have met in like one of those not grave rob. Oh, I guess you can kind of call. You see her husband was in his 60s. Like he
looked a lot older than 60 though.
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, this
the
is
picture on his gravestone too.
Dude, I love the old lady that walks up to him and she's like, "Which picture should I use?" And it was like a nice picture of her as an older lady, and the picture of her is like young and good looking, and he's like, both of them. And then she dies, and then you see her gravestone. That's the funniest thing I always laugh about in movies when people have gravestones right away. If you've ever actually had someone die, gravestones take months.
Yeah,
it's
I had
little
to help
plots.
design my brother-in-law's, and for the etching they got on it and everything, it took forever. But
yeah, it takes forever. But in movies, it's always oh, they died, and they have the gravestone on it. That's safe.
When they're burying the person.
Yeah.
Sorry, that is not newsflash for those of you that are unaware. That is not how that works. Thank you for coming to Murder Moose Podcast, where we provide you information.
You never know. In this universe, people live in snow globes, and it's got Cemetery Man in the title, so maybe he has superpowers that he's like, you know what, your plot is ready to go.
So only because they're in Krampus's basement. That's why, Josh. Because Krampus keeps everyone in their snow globes. Because that's how Krampus does these things.
I love that. That's how the fucking movie ended. By the way, I was like, wait a second, what? I like it.
That's like
it made me like the whole movie more because it made zero sense, but it was so out there enough that it was like, oh, you know what? Awesome. I love it.
They drive through that tunnel. And they stop, and then Nagi, they almost fall off the fucking cliff, right? And then they're not even that concerned about it. They're just like, oh, whatever. I guess we can't leave. We're kind of Wait, did he want to leave because? Yeah, like, did he want to leave because nobody would stop him from killing people? Is that what it was? Like, I'm not completely sure. Like,
I think he just
why
got bored
he wanted
with
to
it.
leave. Maybe I do like how like he's like, Nagi, let's leave, and he's like, you're not bringing, like, Nagi's suitcase is like a little baby casket.
What was that
what
violin thing that was not a violin?
That was
a casket bag like that. That's black. That's about this big. That unzips. It's really cool. Sorry. Anyway.
No, I love how much Nagi loves it because he tells him he's not taking it, and then the car's driving off, and it's on his roof. No, his violin, which it looks like they like took a bunch of old rotted wood and like nailed it together and like tried to call it an instrument, but Nagi can play it like again, it's like he's like the special. He's basically the village idiot in this movie, right? Like. And
special education.
Yeah, I mean, he's the village idiot. Is really, I don't know, but again, it's the whole Hodor thing. Like he used to be, but then he was. I don't know, because then at the end he talks fine.
But that whole scene where he's just like has headphones on, and he's just eating in front of the TV, and everyone's getting killed behind him, but he isn't fazed by it whatsoever. Just.
Nagi, that's the biggest thing Nagi needs to work on is his table manners. He does not eat very well. He had like food all over his face while he's eating that soup or whatever he was eating.
I thought it was like entrails or something.
I don't. They look
he was
like
eating like
soup.
spaghetti with what else was in there? There's like bread and bananas and.
Yeah, bananas. He was feeding it to his 14-year-old girlfriend head. Too, because he brought two, and then that was the best thing too. Like fucking Francesco, whoever you say his name, the main character, sees him taking 2 plates down, and he's like, "Oh, Nagi's such a fat ass." Basically, like he doesn't think anything of it, and I in my own mind, he was like, "Nagi's such a fat ass. He needs 2 full plates of this garbage food." And I also love how he's like, "Oh." Nagi just makes his weird grunting noises at him, and like he interprets it because he's like, "You're right. It all ends up in the same stomach."
Like,
and yeah, no, that is one of that whole him eating is the Boy Scout scene. I keep looking down, by the way, on my screen and seeing Kin looking up, but it's the green screen Kin. It messes with me, but
double Kin.
All the Boy Scouts coming through and just like shooting them in the head and just Nagi just being Nagi.
It's Kin and Kinny.
It's Kin squared.
Kitty.
It's like Kin and it's like the main chick and her 8 different personalities. Okay, so is the main one that
what the
died?
hell? Okay, do you understand that whatsoever? Like, it just like happened.
I thought
Wait,
she was
you love me too?
reincarnated, but
they're all alive at the same time.
Well, I don't think so.
That's true.
Think about it. Maybe, and I was kind of thinking, like, maybe because everything is this like little weird magical world, because that's the snow globe. Like, people just get recycled. So maybe everyone else that's like been killed and zombied and everything like that is really like you'll find them again as like different people in the world, because if you think about it, if we have a magical snow globe where zombies do whatever, they're probably like population control, right? Because if you have this little tiny snow globe, it's like one town. You can't have like people like, you know, growing old and having lots of kids and all this stuff. So you have to like have people get killed and turn into zombies and then like kill more people because it keeps your population under control, right? I think that's what it is. I think it's
just someone shaking the snow globe and making the dead people come back to life.
I'm glad you added back to life, because I was really concerned for a minute.
I'm shaking a snow globe, not jerking a giant cock off. I swear.
Come
snow
on.
globe.
Coming back? Coming on a back? Is that what?
I mean,
Dead people coming.
Dude,
shake the snow globe so that the dead people can be coming.
Okay. I have another question, especially specifically about the she character in the after he fucks her and she like and I don't even.
It all checks out.
He takes her down into the fucking like the crypt, and she gets fucking horny as shit or something. Like she's like starts making out with him, but like.
And then Steve, the skull, like my buddy Steve at the window here, he's just like, ha. He's getting handsy. It's great.
Well. I think I might have looked away for a second because I looked away and then he has a red scarf on his head and I don't know how.
Because she's like, I'm not gonna kiss you, but I'll kiss you like this, and then puts this fucking thing over his head and then they start making out.
I must have missed that. I was like, I don't know how I missed it, but I like, and then she runs away and then the next day they're fucking on the gravestone, and
yeah, that progressed pretty quickly.
It really, really did. And she's gorgeous, man. She's a pretty lady.
She's really fucking pretty.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
so is he.
Oh, dude, he's gorgeous too. They're both gorgeous.
Yeah, it was
and
good.
It's like
it was good fucking.
It was good old putting the penis in the vagina. They were doing that good old fucking like the good old boys.
I don't know. That went down a path that I didn't like there, Rod.
Just a good old boy.
Sorry, ooh, Daddy Josh. Sorry.
Ooh,
Ooh.
Daddy, please.
Daddy. Oh, Daddy.
All I can hear is that.
It's okay. That's about what we sound like anyway. Me and Rod anyway. Hi.
We just making noises that are coming out of our mouth that don't sound like real English words. Dude, I love this because I love the whole Giallo. What are you doing, Josh?
Oh wait, it's there. Oh, this
We're
is
not
for
talking about Skinamarink.
Oh, that's funny that was for Skinamarink.
Ken is picking her own nose, but not the nose on her face.
There we go.
Dude, I feel like Josh is like his real true calling in life is being the guy who makes the weather maps go on, and like he would just fuck with weathermen. Like,
no, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a weatherman or an actor. Something in front of a camera.
I wanted to be the weatherman's map, and I don't know why. I think
I wanted to, but then that's why I got into like making web shows. Was I saw this show, totally rad show, on what the fuck was that called? This is before YouTube stuff, and they did it in front of a green screen, and I was like, oh, and that's when I started doing websode on a green screen, like 15 years ago.
Nice.
Which is when it was a lot more complicated.
Yeah, I used to have to like do it into the camera and then record onto the computer, and then it was such a long process. And now Premiere, I just go click. Oh, there we go. It's done. What the fuck?
Ding, fries are done.
Ding, fries are done. I gotta run. I gotta run. I gotta run. I gotta run.
This wall right here was my green screen wall.
Oops, sorry.
Would
Not
you like an
anymore.
apple pie with that? Would you like an apple pie with that? I used to love that
Yes.
video, like back in the
Yes.
Newgrounds days and all that stuff.
Oops.
Oh.
So the whole incident. So he fucks the chick. She dies because she gets bit by her husband. But she really later on he says she didn't really die because he shot her, but he didn't hit her in the brain. Like it grazed the side of her head, right? Like he said he closed his eyes when he shot at her because he like couldn't shoot her. And then she
Because all I
comes
could see
back
was the
and-
two bull's eyes, so he had to close his eyes because there was two.
Guys, now if you haven't seen this movie or you don't know what Josh is talking about, he's referring to her nipples.
No, her areolas.
She had very large areolas.
Yeah,
But they were
pepperoni. It
pretty.
made me want to eat pepperoni.
They were pretty areolas.
I wonder if those were implants. They kind of looked like they were, but I'm
I'm
not sure.
Gonna say most likely,
Yeah,
but maybe not.
I was
I
thinking
don't
the old
know.
Robin.
I was on the fence. I thought no, but then the scene where she falls down, I was like,
Yeah, that's why I was
Maybe.
kind of like,
yeah.
You ever see the old Robin Williams bit where he's talking about how like fake boobs are just like they're like that cartoon, you know, that cartoon character that like his eyes and nose hang over the fence or whatever like that. He's like they're just like the eyes never move. You're like you turn and your boobs are just still like your nipples are still pointing the same way. God, dude, Robin Williams was so fucking funny, man. He was. He was something that stand up as like a teenager that I watched. I was like, "Fuck, I love this man." But
I love the one where he's like, guys, when they're like looking for approval, when they like, all of a sudden they're just like,
"Oh yeah, about eating pussy." He's like,
down
we
here.
must be.
Oh, am I doing well?
You think
He's
about
good
it, the
shit.
fucking angle is a very odd thing, man. It is a very odd perspective, like from like you're like there. What? You're just, so that whole thing where like Nagi kills her, dude. Nagi and his fucking he turns the shovel into like a killer spade, like a killer spade.
you're just sitting down in the basement, like sharpening it.
I know, and it's just like wicked looking.
It reminded me of
And
Evil
he's-
Dead.
Dude, this movie is just like, it's like they're like, oh, we really like Evil Dead, but it wasn't wacky enough. Okay, we're gonna make it wackier, because
But yeah, the floating head part, everything with just her head was definitely House, like because that's all of House, right? Like,
yeah,
weird
dude, I
floating
love
head.
House.
House is.
I
so
need to
good.
watch House. I need to watch House 2, but like I remember watching House for the first time like 3 or 4 years ago and going, did they do all the cocaine before they like? made
Someone
this,
at
or
the
while they were doing
HorrorCon
this
had a
movie?
House shirt, just the big, huge cat taking up the whole shirt. I was like, that shirt fucking rules.
Oh,
I want
not
it.
that House. I'm talking about the American House.
No, I'm talking about the Japanese House. That one's so much better.
I know, dude. I love the American.
I
the
love 'em
Japanese
both,
one's better,
I love them.
dude. I would if we ever talk about House on this podcast. I'm just gonna talk about that guy's sweater for like the fucking entire.
I
movie
haven't
because
seen
of the
House,
podcast.
the American one, since I was like 8. Like I literally watched it when I was at a sleepover when I was 8, and I've never watched it past that. So
He's got the biggest V-neck sweater I've ever seen. Like the V goes, like the dip goes like to his belly button. It is like the biggest V-neck sweater I've ever seen. It's like it is the most insane thing ever. And that movie is bonkers. And it's got the mailman from Cheers, and is wonderful. Have you ever seen Housekin?
The movie or the show?
The movie.
No.
there's a bunch of movies.
Yeah, it's like 6 of them or something insane.
Dude, I saw the
But, like,
Japanese one in theaters, like a original
I know we
print.
did it on the podcast like a long
yeah.
time ago, and then I went and talked about it again on Handle the Scare or something like that.
It's such a weird movie, but I love
it
it.
really is. It's so good though. Yeah,
It was
wonderful.
groundbreaking for its special effects back in the 70s.
Oh, dude, it is that movie. Like when the fingers are playing the piano.
Yeah.
It's just wild fucking film. Wild film. Go listen to that episode if you like that movie because Josh and I had fun with that.
That was back before I was super. No, wait. I was always ADHD. What am I talking about?
I was gonna say, Josh, you and I have been ADHD since the day we were born.
Where are you? My ADHD.
Dude, I was excited for her because KPP was in Seattle over the weekend and got to see Blink in Seattle. I'm like, that's pretty dope.
And they what's his face is back with them now, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
They're all back.
Well, that stinks for the lead singer of Alkaline Trio that was filling in. But what's his face, the lead singer of Blink 182 that pieced out, went to go work
Tom DeLonge?
Went to go search for aliens and did stuff with Bigelow or whatever his name was.
That man did a lot of drugs because, yeah. He was like the Naruto memes. But man, I don't know what I was expecting with this film because I think I was going to say it earlier, but I think the first time I ever even heard about it was a Brandon Tenold's channel on YouTube, who does awesome YouTube videos, but like he does old cult movies and shit. He reviews them, and the movie it's so wild. It's such a like. It's like the thing I love about horror is when horror just embraces absurdity or does just whatever, but it just. You could tell the people making this movie had a fucking blast, man. Like everyone seemed like they were having a good old time. Everyone's just like fully embracing the absurdity of it and just doing like it's like a love letter to fucking Evil Dead, man. The other thing that I was thinking while I was watching it, it was like the cemetery scene, like with the priest from Dead Alive, Brain Dead, but like carried out over the full thing. And that if he ever did a spin-off with that priest, I would still go watch it. Like if Peter Jackson came back, come on Peter Jackson, do a spin-off about the fucking kung fu priest from Brain Damage, Dead Alive, and just go to
Brain
town
Dead.
because I would but it's Dead Alive in America, right? So
Well, you said Brain Damage, not Brain Dead.
or so sorry, I'm tired, man. It's been a long day. Brain Dead, yes. But yeah, I would watch a whole
That
spin-off
laugh
with that.
track
Like,
is so condescending.
it really is. It really is. Oh fuck, man.
It's a person who's broken out of jail going downstairs. Condescending. Because it's a convict going downstairs.
Yeah. I got it, Ken. Someone
You're
dropped a real terrible one in my chat today. And
You're
I was
welcome.
I was like, oh, I thought that was Leaf for the Win for a second. And no, it was my friend Odious. He was just making puns while I was playing.
Oh, Diaz.
What? God damn it, Josh. God damn it. Ken, what else do you have to say about this film? Because I know you had a blast with it, and I don't know if you got to gush as much as you wanted to.
It's fun, man. It was funny because Diana came and watched a bit of it, and just like for a non-horror person to watch something that is not only horror but very stupid on purpose, didn't get it whatsoever. It was actually like it pissed her off how bad it was.
And it really makes people irate when it's intentionally not.
I'm like, this is art, by the way. Like seriously, I'm. It made me like appreciate it more almost because there was someone not getting it whatsoever. It just like right over, and I'm like, but that's the point. Like they're doing all of this on purpose, and that's why I love it even more because they know exactly what this audience wanted. Especially with like it being comedy, it leaned hardcore into the comedy to make up for how just ridiculous some of these things were. And that scene where the whole like group of them gets run over by that bus, and then it's just a hard cut to horse, I'm like, yeah. It was so good.
Dude, they went fucking brutal in that scene, too. They were like, I mean, they were obviously
Did you see
body.
that
like
cut to just horse? Was the best.
the horse, yeah. That,
And then
but
he's like,
when they ran someone over, and it was just like, it was the fucking. It was just like, obviously they had filled up a fake body, and it just exploded. Like the practical effects exploded everywhere.
Great.
Dude, that scene, dude, it was just, I like everything about this film is just wonderful. But
I'm so glad that it got put on my radar because I had no idea it existed, and we were going through. And this is what I love about like people like us, horror aficionados, people in like these types of niche. We have backgrounds with the stuff that we love. We collect it, we showcase it, we love it. And going into his, like, he's got a wicked man cave with so many cool like memorabilia, toys, whatever. But he's got a really good Blu-ray collection of movies and stuff. And I was like, holy shit, I haven't heard of like way more than I thought of I was ever going to see in someone's collection. Like,
yeah.
So I'm intrigued, and I'm gonna ask him for a few more.
Oh, by the way,
he knocked it out of the park with this.
They are re-releasing Old Boy in August for a 20th anniversary, and I'm very excited for that because Old Boy is so good, and it's really hard to keep a track. Like they're putting in theaters, and it's really hard to track down physical copies of it. But yeah, that is Zelda. Fucking poodle, man. She fucking ate my AirPod case yesterday when I was running. I'm like, you bitch. You bitch. Oh, man.
Ken.
Sup?
Anything else you want to say about this before we dive into what we're doing next week and whatnot, Ken?
I thought it was really entertaining. I did get up and walk around a couple times because I was cleaning stuff. And I'd come back and be like, I don't know what happened, but I can't rewind it. So we're going to just go along for the ride. And I still had a lot of fun with it. So,
Ken, that's just why every time we watch a goofy horror comedy like this, it's just like more of a, Ken, you need to watch Psycho Goreman. This is like absurd movie like Psycho Goreman. I mean, Psycho Goreman, it never gets as crazy as this movie does at the very end, but like,
there's there's a few new things that just came out that are randomly in the horror genre too, that we could check out if we have nothing.
Like what? Oh, I had one idea, or I had a couple of ideas, but
I think I'm probably just gonna watch Wrath of Becky because I really want to. But
I was thinking about us watching Becky next week because I still have never seen it. Ken, do you know who the villain in Becky is?
no.
Kevin James.
And he does a really good job. Really, really good job. He's menacing in it.
Yeah,
I think that's why that movie worked so well, though.
As long as he's menacing and not menstruating, we're good.
I mean, he could be menstruating. I never have looked in his pants to see what is down there.
No, it's because Becky can put a fucking movie on her shoulders and do a good job. It's the same girl from Annabelle Creation, which I fucking love. And she was awesome in that movie, too.
Yeah. Well, it's all the thing where we have... when is that new... do we have... next month is that weird movie with the hand, the tattooed hand, and like the girl saying the... like after talk to me or whatever. Yeah. Is that next month? I think it comes out next month.
I'm
trying to figure out what...
on July 28th. It's the week
so we're about
after the new Christopher Nolan movie comes out.
Yeah, Oppenheimer. Okay. Josh, do you want to do Becky next week then? Or do you want to do something else or what?
I don't care, sure.
I mean, you're the only one who's seen Becky.
I saw it I saw it at Cuff.
But you think it would be a good discussion and everything like that?
Oh, yeah, it's a great movie. I liked it a lot.
Okay, cool. We'll do Becky next week. If that's cool with you, Ken.
Sounds great to me.
Okay, cool. Okay, well then I think then we can advance off. I really like Cemetery Man. This is the type of horror that is just fucking. It's my perfect alley of I don't rewatch movies very often, but I could see myself rewatching this. Horror comedy when you nail it is just like my.
This is very easily a movie that could be put on in the background and that's what happens with my favorite movies. It's like that's what the only shit that I can put on while I'm working is stuff that I have seen before, over 13 times or something. And it's like I'm only watching because I love every part of it, and I'll look up for my favorite parts, and then can go because I've seen it. And I could see this one easily slotting in like that, and just looking up to the funny bits.
I mean, it's in that perfect category of what I truly find rewatchable in horror is horror comedy. It's like this, Reanimator, Evil Dead. Psycho Goreman. I've watched Psycho Goreman over the last couple of years more times than I think I've watched almost any other film because it's such a fucking. I know, Ken. You've seen it dozens of times. We know. Ken. I'm not even trying to attack you on that one. And you just you self-sacrifice there.
I did.
Yeah. Okay. So this movie's a blast. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's probably not easy to track down. I've wanted to see this film for a while, but it magically ended on Plex, so I'm happy now. So we will do.
That can happen. Did you just get assaulted by a cat?
I did.
I saw it in real time. It looked like it hurt.
It did.
Becky, came out in 2020 starring Ruckus Sky, Lane Sky, and those are the writers. Lulu Wilson, Kevin James, and Joel McHale. Joel McHale's also in it. So
the sequel has Sean William Scott in it.
Have you, by the way, seen the fucking, because Twitch, I've been watching some Twitch channels I don't, subscribe to. They have this fucking DoorDash commercial that has Jason Biggs getting DoorDash delivered, and then Sean William Scott shows up and is just like...
Nobody invited me to the party.
Yeah. He was in some random horror movie years ago that I heard was actually pretty good, but, where he plays, a creep, a serial killer or something.
Yeah, he played it really fucking well. He went dark, and I was like, "Holy shit, Sean!"
Yeah,
yeah.
It's
you did it.
It's like when Elijah Wood played Maniac, right?
Yes,
which is great.
Killed it.
That was a weird movie, man, because it's all shot at first person, most of it. But yeah, he killed it, man. Elijah Wood has been doing a lot of really cool little indie horror movies over the last 20 years. So, okay, everybody. Yeah, we'll do Becky next week from 2020. And then if we like it, well, I guess we could do the Revenge of, what's it called, Josh?
Wrath of Becky.
Wrath of Becky the next week or something. We'll figure something out. Okay, guys. Had a blast as always. You guys are fucking awesome. I love you to death. Okay, go to murdermoose.com. Go to Murder Moose Podcast on Twitter. And check us out there. Our episodes are there. Go to YouTube and look for us, and you will be able to find our video versions of these episodes. So check us out there. You go to Kintinue. Go to Kintinue.com. Quainttaint.com.
Just Quainttaint. Just Quainttaint. Quainttaint. That's the one.
It's the main source for all of your tainting.
Yep. Go hang out in Kin's streams because she's wonderful. Do all these things. Josh is joshwrb.com if you need graphic design and stuff like that. By the way, Josh,
yes, I've been talking to him, and I'm probably going to be doing his book.
Sending book. My buddy Dr. Claw wrote a book and needs someone for cover.
Dr. Claw wrote a book?
Yeah, Dr. Claw. He wrote a book. He wrote a book about the science of Breaking Bad back in the day, but and actually MIT had something to do with it. But yeah, he's a good dude, and me and him are the same person we say all the time. So yep, I'm glad that's working out then. So joshwrb.com and joshwrb on Twitter, even though Josh forgot Twitter exists. I am Rod_Johnston on Twitter and Twitch. Follow me there. I stream 4 days a week, whatever. So hang me out there. And next week we return with Becky. So I love you guys, and we'll talk to you guys later. Have a good week, and bye. Bye. Bye.
game.